Hey, good morning. Good news. Jesus is still Lord every day. The devil's defeated. Thank God. Thank God the Word works. And I can take the Word of God, plant it in my heart. Faith will grow because faith comes by hearing, hearing by the Word of God, and I can change everything. Jesus made two statements here. To one person, he said, nothing is impossible to him that believes. I like to take that word nothing. No thing is impossible to him that believes. If you can believe it, you can change anything. Somebody said, well, you know my old husband, he's so bad. Well, you know my old word of God, it's so good and it'll change him. It's bigger than he is and can change anything. Jesus said nothing. No thing is impossible to him that believes. Now, we raised 4 children, and some of them, they went a little bit over the craziness when they were teenagers, but we would pray, we'd believe God, and we'd look them right in the face and say, son or daughter, you are a blessing. And they'd look at us like, yeah, and you're crazy, but they came out a blessing. They're all blessings now. They're all serving God, all in the ministry, because we changed their attitude by our faith. Nothing. No teenager's too hard. No person, bad, mean, whatever, is too hard for God to get through to them if their wife or their parents will believe God for them. Another place Jesus said this. I want y'all to get it. All things are possible to him that believes. That's all things. Somebody wrote me a little note the other day and said, well, why can't I believe for like $1 million? You can. Well, I hadn't been able to do that. Develop your faith. All things are possible to him that believes. And Jesus said, you have the God kind of faith in Mark chapter 11. And he said, you can say to this mountain, the mountain of disease, the mountain of lack, the mountains of dysfunctional, whatever it may be around your house. You can speak to it and tell it to be gone and leave. Now, Pat and I have done this for the last 50 years or so. We'd take our bills, which there was no way we could pay them. And I'd stack those bills up, and I'd bring them in here and put them on the table, and I'd look at them, I'd say, bills, I call you paid. I mean, there were times I didn't even have a job, and we had bills to be paid, the house payment or the rent, depending on what period of life it was, the utility bills, insurance bills, car payments, whatever. And I didn't have no money at all, but I had faith. Come on, preach, Frank. And if you have faith and release it, you'll speak to that mountain and it'll be removed. Now, I remember one time I had a lot of stuff that was due at the church and our own personal stuff, and I spoke to those bills. I said, bills, I call you paid. And I didn't have any way of paying them, and the Lord spoke to me, and he said, we had this little widow woman in our church, and he said, call her in, tell her to bring all her unpaid bills. And I called her, and she came in. I said, give me all your bills. And she had several $100s worth of bills that had come in. And I said, the Lord spoke to me, and I'm going to pay every one of your bills. Seed time and harvest, you see. I paid her bills, and when I got through paying her bills, I think we had less than $1 left in the church account, and I'd paid all of her bills. But I said, I got seed in the ground, and I want you to know in less than a week, all of my bills was paid. All of my debts were paid because, you see, I acted on the Word of God and believed what God said rather than what that stack. I'm not talking about, 3 or 4. I'm talking about a stack that high. But I spoke to the mountain and told it to be removed. And, man, it got out of there. And I found out all things are possible to him that believes. Now, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now, faith is the substance, the raw material. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. You hope to be debt-free? Faith is the substance of debt-free. You hope to be in divine health and your body be well? Faith is the substance that God's going to take to bring that to pass in your life. Now faith. If it ain't now, it ain't faith. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and it is the evidence of things not seen. Now, my cars are paid for. I have the title in my whatever cabinet, we keep our stuff in. Pat files everything. But if you don't have the title, it belongs to the bank or, GMAC or Ford Motor Company or something like that. Well, you miss a few payments, they can come get it because he who has the title owns the car. Watch this. I have the title to divine health. Jesus bore my sicknesses and carried my diseases, and with his stripes I was healed, and I've got the title deed for it, so I own it, and my body may not be saying that it's well, but my body's got to obey my faith. Jesus said, speak to the mountain speak to the tree, and it would obey you. The faith is what will obey you, and you got it. You got enough of it. You can change your family. You can change your financial situation. God's given you this wonderful, mountain-moving faith of God that you can change anything and everything, and you got it. Woo! How blessed we are. Saints, hey, so until I'm with you tomorrow, I want you to remember all day, you have the gift of faith. You got enough to get the job done. Start releasing it and get everything changed in your behalf. So remember, hey, Jesus is Lord. Thank God the word works.